Where shall we start today?
Oh, gosh.
Let's start with Inter.
No, we should start with Milan.
Ooh.
That's no problem.
Stealing.
Wow.
Yo,
We started off
Inter
strong.
versus Napoli next week on Sunday.
Interesting.
First versus second place in 1 point. Separate the two. I'm so
Don't worry.
excited.
Don't worry. Someone
Oh
is gonna.
my gosh.
Someone is gonna do something.
We noticed the wink, buddy. You don't have to move
What?
your whole... We noticed the wink.
You did?
Yeah, we did. By the way, Anto, before we start, how do you feel... Do you like Marco sitting there next to you?
Not
or me?
really.
Why?
Not really.
Why not?
You're supposed to be here.
You don't like...
Mike.
Why? How
I
come?
don't know. I don't feel comfortable this
You're
one
stuck with
here.
me.
Comfortable?
Do I smell better
This
than
guy-
Mike at least?
No, I mean you.
Did he take your...
backstabbing me.
Did
at
he
any
take...
chance.
He might take your
Look,
wallet.
it's
You better
closer to
watch
you.
out.
This guy's a backstabber. Every time he's got a chance, he's done.
I can see that. I can
gotta
see
watch
that.
my
Every time I
back.
get a chance, what?
Mike, at least you.
Marco, sit next to me.
I know you are an interclasser, but at least I can control you. Once in a while, I can smack you
You put
around.
the interference on this side, I guess?
No, you know.
He's secluding
The
us.
problem is he talks to you so much that he's always moving away from the mic.
I think he's
next to you
jealous.
here. I'm jealous.
I think that's what it is.
I want to get a little
He wants a
Antonio
little
time.
hug.
It
Oh
changes
my
the
God!
dynamics.
Anto,
Stop
I like
soccer, please.
Anto, no more scalp massages. That's about that.
Wow.
Yeah, are you cold,
Oh,
by
I
the
got
way?
another scalp over
Take
here. I
off that
forgot.
shit
Nice.
into that over there.
We got
Come
another
on.
scalp that I... Oh, so we're good.
Shall we start with Napoli
Yeah,
and Atalanta?
yeah, absolutely.
That game was
Man,
crazy.
Napoli was...
I enjoyed it.
6:30 in the
I
morning.
enjoyed
You were up for it.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I was.
Anto, I messaged you.
We
You
all had
weren't
an extra
responsible.
I
hour.
was.
Yeah,
up.
true.
I was actually. I was up at 5:15.
I was running the marathon.
I
I'm
was up
like,
at
you guys, I couldn't
5:15.
be watching the game.
Yes, even though we had the extra hour of sleep, but I already watched. I was up at 5:15 because I had to take a little. Can I say lick?
What do you have to do?
I had to take
You
a
said
lick.
it. You said
A
it
lick?
way worse than leak.
I had to take a lick.
Oh, I thought you meant like a lick.
Then I put the TV on and I said I don't fall asleep that easily. So if I know there is something on the TV coming up soon, I said, you know what? Let me check the tennis channel. So that's what I did. I was watching the tennis channel, and then I put the Paramount Plus, and then bam, I started watching Napoli Atalanta, enjoying the game. I enjoyed a lot of the game.
That was so good.
But Sunday was playing, before we forgot, do you want to say, Sunday was also the New York Marathon, and someone actually ran with our
Pietro,
cultural jersey.
Nasta.
Pietro, there we go. He
Yeah.
ran with our cultural jersey. I don't know if you guys saw.
I saw the
probably didn't
post.
see
Italy
it.
jersey.
He was watching the Italy
me
jersey
show
we
you.
made. Yeah, he was running out with the marathon.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty
Did he-
sick.
Really
Did
cool.
what was his standing?
4 hours and 20 minutes.
Not bad.
Look, here's a
You
video.
should
of
invite him to
Look,
the studio.
Absolutely.
nice.
That's their jersey.
Excellent.
Very cool, Pietro. Bravo.
Wow.
Very
Congrats
nice.
on finishing
What
the marathon.
fantasy?
I don't know.
Probably Milan. He's a good guy, right?
I don't know.
Anto?
An AC Milan fan, it looks like.
None of us have ever done the marathon, huh?
Your dad did it.
My dad did it twice.
My dad did it.
Gaetano
He did it twice.
That's crazy. Why would he want to do it another time? If I
He
did
wanted
it
to
once,
do it-
I'm gonna brag
I
about
think
it
he
and never
wanted,
do it again.
he wanted to do it in his 50s and then do it in his 60s, I think.
He
I mean,
did it
was
better
like
in his
his thing.
60s or no?
No.
I feel.
Hey,
No.
talking about
I thought he was
running.
better
so.
ready for the 60s.
Yeah, when he did it in his 50s, he did it the most like Italian way possible. Yeah, the guy didn't even get the proper shoes. He wore like just regular Nike shoes.
Man.
He lost every single toenail when he did it.
Oh.
He just was like, all right, just keep running like I've ran my whole life. The second one, he took it more serious and got like proper equipment. But if you could finish the New York City Marathon, it's a good achievement.
You should be
I
proud
feel
of
like I
yourself.
want to do it. My dad said he'll do one more if I do it. I don't know if I'm mentally strong enough
Listen,
to do
talking
it.
about running.
I
today,
asked your
you
dad
run
a
every
few
day.
questions on that.
I know, but I
That's
don't run
different.
26 miles.
Right, but you prepare for it.
Your
You
dad
run
said, I
already.
think after like mile 10, it was like it was all mental.
That's
And I was like, I don't
scary.
know if I could do that.
Imagine you tell your whole family, everybody, and then you can't like bake it.
I think that's the best way to do it. You got to tell as much people so you don't
Or
feel
then
like
what if you get hurt? I don't know. There's like so
that's
many things.
different. I mean,
It's pretty cool though. It's a
At
cool
your
achievement.
age-
Massimo Oddo did it.
Listen to me. At your age, you thinking about not even to be
You
trying
could
to
roll
be
your
embarrassed?
ankle.
I have to do it with me. I'll do it if
Give
you
me
do it.
a
So why don't you do
break.
it?
I can do it. You know what? Talking about running.
Why don't we all do it?
Talking about running. We
If
should
we all
all
do
do
it-
it.
If we all do it.
If we all do it,
Yeah, let's all do it. All the studio
All
will
next,
do it. Yeah.
all next year.
Who else?
Wait,
Just five?
Peter hasn't said a word.
That will put you in shape, Pete.
hilarious.
Listen, talking about running today, I got the
Are you
great
gonna? No,
news.
hold on. Are you gonna do it?
I'll do it.
Yes, of course he's gonna do
Who
it.
else?
We
got
all
no
gonna do it?
choice.
That's five?
My dad, yeah.
Can we
Yeah,
get
we'll
Ryan?
Ryan can roll the marathon.
Ryan can do it too. Ryan can do it. Amma Testarossa can do it. My
all-
son
How
can
many
do
kids
it.
It's all
we need?
mentality.
We need-
A
A
we
Bocca
need
di
to-
Fuoco can
Oh, we
do
gotta
it.
be all next to each other.
No,
No,
you're gonna
no.
get separated.
Separated. Of course, the faster they go, they go further.
Who would be first and who would be last?
Who would be first and who would be last?
Who would be first and who would be last?
Who would be first and who would be last?
Who would be first and who would be last?
This is not about pace. It's about persistency.
I think Antonio will be last.
I don't think so. So
Wow.
what?
I don't think you're gonna
At
make
the
it.
end of the day, it's just the
Your
crossing
dad will
the
probably
line.
be first because he knows more about it.
Nah, but he's too old.
Doesn't.
now.
I don't think it's about
Too old.
age.
I think if you do it under
Miguel.
4 hours, you're good. I think if you do it
What do
under
you mean?
4
No,
hours,
people
that's
are doing
a
it
big
at 7
achievement.
years
Five.
old.
Yeah, but
Fine.
they're not-
It's
No,
not
for you,
mental,
under
bro.
5 hours is good. Under 5
5
hours, I
hours.
think is
5
is-
hours
I don't
is
know.
good.
I
is
wouldn't
good.
know what to say. What's good.
4
or
and a
bad.
half is like very good.
don't
The
know.
And then
winner
anything under
makes it
4 is
2
amazing.
hours and change. Always 2 hours, 2 hours and 7 or 8. Those are the.
I guess my brother done a bunch of them.
Your brother's a beast with that.
He goes around the world and.
We got to do something
That's
fun.
nice.
Let us know in the comments.
Hey,
if we
talking
should
about
do this.
running, today I went to get my great news from my orthopedist that said you fully habilitated to go full time
Oh,
back.
goody.
Yeah, thanks.
Go back to what?
To go playing tennis.
He was
You
already
play tennis?
He just kept playing
I was
tennis.
playing
though.
anyway. But
He had surgery and then he kept playing.
I didn't know you played tennis.
What do you mean? You didn't know? Oh, okay. So sorry to hear that.
He played pickleball, but now he transitioned. And
Oh,
plays
it
tennis.
changed from
Yeah, that's why.
pickleball. Gotcha.
Shall we talk about real stuff?
Yes,
Shall we talk
please.
about the games?
Yes.
Atalanta against Napoli. A crazy match. Napoli had been on an amazing streak ever since the loss to Verona. There was nothing that was stopping them. I think 9 wins out of 10. I thought that they were not going to be beat. I thought that
That's
this had a
crazy.
tie written all over it. No one could match the intensity of Atalanta. It kind of reminded me of the Europa League final where Leverkusen, I remember thinking Leverkusen looked shell-shocked. Napoli looked shell-shocked. And then Lookman we could have a conversation about him, one of the best players, I think, in the world.
Serie A.
In Serie A for sure. But there's no player
In
like
form,
him.
yeah, for sure.
The guy
In form.
takes on his man every single time. He sees a player, he's going vertical. He never thinks to go backwards. He wants to take a shot. It's always something positive, and he does the defensive work too. You see the way that Lookman hustles? My gosh, he is on a different level. Thank God Atalanta did not sell him over the summer to PSG. PSG was offering like 40 million. This guy is a phenomenal. He wins you games. But point being, Napoli had no answers. And it's a little scary, but they were on a run where they were not playing good. They were just scrapping out wins.
Yeah, Atalanta. The thing with Atalanta, they're one of those teams that, I mean, similar to Napoli. Like when they get a little bit of steam, they like steamroll. And it's interesting. For me, with this loss, it's gonna tell me a lot. It's gonna tell everyone a lot about Conte and Napoli. If they can bounce back from this loss, or how will they bounce back? Because this is the first loss of the
Do you think they can?
season since Verona. Do I think they can? They're not playing in Europe. I think they will, but it's gonna say a lot regardless and how they do it.
They look
You
bad
understand?
though. They look bad.
They look like they weren't ready for it.
They look bad. Lukaku was not up to it. He hasn't been up to it. Kvara was off, and that is my fear.
whole team was off.
When they don't have Kvara, they don't have real solutions up top.
Yeah.
You know, there's
'Cause
not
Lukaku expects that service.
there's not the creativity. There's not the guy that could beat his man and to solve a game on his own if it's not Kvaratskhelia.
Listen, wasn't Napoli a lock already for winning the Campionato? Last
Are you gonna
week
say something real? Or are you gonna let Peter
No,
talk?
you
It's
guys,
one
you
game.
guys were already bragging and the Conte. Look at Conte.
Anto
You
loves
see,
these rants,
you already
bro.
see the Conte, the impact of Conte. Che cazzo
Who
dici?
talks like that? That's
Listen
first
to
of all.
me.
He did his job against Milan.
Listen to me.
He
That
won us
one-
free margaritas.
Everyone does their
by
job
the
against
way.
Milan.
AC Milan
The
should
pizza
have
or
at
the
the
drink,
very
Marco?
least tie the game.
Yeah,
We
okay.
have to thank Mike Magnan for just giving like a Christmas present in advance to Conte. And now this, yesterday it was, what's his name, a Butterfinger that returned the favor.
Meret.
Unfortunately, not to us, but he returned it to Gasperini, because I'll tell you what, Atalanta not only overplayed Napoli, they embarrassed them.
They did.
They embarrassed them. If the score would have been 5 or 6-0, nobody will be.
Imagine they played Milan. What the
Three,
score would be.
three's bad enough.
Except, what?
No, I was gonna say Gasperini didn't put Retegui in, who scored 5 goals in 5 or 4
11
and 4,
goals in 11.
or 11 and
In
11,
Serie A.
That's
even
right.
more. So you know he didn't start his best striker, the
boy,
most
no.
informed striker. Lukaku, you know, when he plays versus a physical defender, he's not able to
Produce it,
match
yeah.
the same intensity. I would say.
Compared to Hien, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
When
Hien
he had
was
to go up
Hien
one-on-one?
had
Right.
him in his pocket.
He was brilliant.
He's a you know
Like-
of the similar mold
Like
of
body,
Lukaku,
like body.
where he's big, strong, physical, and fast as well as quick-footed. So when you have that, Napoli weren't able to work, around Lukaku. And then Kvaratskhelia, unfortunately, he tries to do the same thing, maybe a little too predictable in this game, and they just had no response, no answers for Atalanta. Atalanta, on the other hand, this is a team that has been doing it year in, year out. Different players. Gasperini still has the same juice, I guess.
The system, Pete. The system
The
is
system,
spectacular.
but also they had a little bit of a rough start this year. So there was I read something, and it's funny. They said he lost to Como, Torino,
and Inter.
and Inter. Roma would have sacked Gasperini.
Where'd you see that?
Where did I see it? Come si chiama? Michele Criscitello. He had a
I thought he caught it too.
Yeah, you see, you
No,
guys,
I said I
you
saw
follow
it.
too much,
Are you
too
an
many
Inter fan
times the
by the way?
newspaper. Listen to me.
Hold
Listen to me.
on.
hold on.
But the point,
Conte.
the point I'm making is that you have to have patience also.
Patience.
You need patience in order to have
Wow.
something, come.
Patient.
If you have
Who's
belief.
gonna have patient? Who's gonna have patient? Who?
Ownership groups.
Ownership needs to be
Meaning
able
the
to...
Napoli ownership?
Oh my God.
Atalanta.
Are you paying attention?
Atalanta. I missed the point. Yeah, that
Apparently, because you're thinking of.
Because
Conte.
you're trying to think what you're going to say before listening. You got to listen.
Okay.
Oh.
You better finish above
Mike,
him
you
in
see,
the
if I
marathon.
was sitting next
You
to
better
him, I would
finish
have smacked him
You want me
around.
to do it?
Yeah, do it, please. All right, finish. Are
No,
you,
he's
are
not
you done?
finished.
You finished, Pete. So let me just say what I
Hold on.
just
hold
say
on.
it.
I think it's a great point that you make, and I think some of the early problems that Atalanta had, if you really break them down, Gasperini, number one, was complaining a lot. He was not happy. He was not happy about what are you guys doing over there? What are you guys touching each other?
What happened? You okay, buddy?
Mike is trying to pick your pocket. He's not gonna find much.
We're not staying on
It's
topic
something.
at all today, and
something.
we haven't had no wine. That's
So
the funny part.
What were you saying?
So Gasperini was not happy with the amount of length in his contract. That was the first thing he complained about. He also complained about the mercato.
Yeah.
He had said specifically, it feels like we always take one step forward and two steps backwards because 13 different players, I think, was the turnover from when they finished the Europa League final to when they started the season. And he felt like that's including also Scalvini and Scamacca, who were injured. They were starting with two natural defenders. They play a three-man backline. Only two natural defenders were playing in those first few games. And they were having put Derun in the makeshift position, which he's done brilliant at, but he's not a natural defender. That hurt them. And it also takes time for these new players to understand Gasperini's system, to integrate. Things are not going to be off to a flying start. So I think you make a great point where some of these ownership groups, a lot of times the American ones, it's like they don't know the sport. And that sounds crazy to me because we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, passionate fan bases, but it's almost like they don't have football people in there to make proper decisions, which seems crazy to me. You would know better than I would.
Yeah, I
You know
mean-
what's missing on this, Marco? Hold on, Pete, please, because I know the answer to all of those problems.
Conte.
Scoop miner, it's
Coal
I think
miners.
scoop miner. I call him scoop miner because it's like a scoop, ice cream scoop. Scoop miner is not even a scoop. Who? It's not even a thing. Nobody remembers about this guy here. I was
he won the Europa League,
Listen
come
to
on.
me.
'Cause it's a
He didn't win
system.
by himself.
With Atalanta's a
I
system,
was
not the
watching.
players.
I was watching the Catelare, left, right, middle, involved.
What a mistake
in
Milan made.
every situation.
What a mistake
And then
Milan made.
the way it looks, looks at Lukman. The guy he finds Luxman everywhere. Bam, 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 bam.
He's looking for him.
He's looking for him. So number one. Number two,
Not yet.
they got Samardich.
Samardžić.
The bench of Atalanta, it's top.
You know their third goal. It was
Top.
It was three players combining for the goal. It was
sitting on the bench.
It was Samardžić who passed the ball to Belanova, who crossed the ball to Retegui, who scored the goal. So
Belanova coming off the
even the
bench.
strength off the bench.
Retegui coming off the bench. Samardich coming off the bench. So Scamacca, to me, he better be coming back with some sort of a juice on his leg because Scamacca, to me, is going to lose his job. Retegui, as we speak, is way better. And I think the coach of our national team should just take some notes. We do not need Scamacca. Retegui is a
he's been
deadly
playing.
player. Give him 2 or 3 balls, he's going to bury one.
So
we always
to back
knew
up,
about
to back
this.
that up, Retegui scored 11 goals in 11 Serie A matches. Scamacca scored 12 goals in 29 Serie A matches. So he's 1 goal away from Scamacca. Scamacca obviously did great in the Europa League. Retegui hasn't scored in the Champions League. Difficult competition. It still is early to tell on the European front, but what Retegui is doing is amazing. But I think the conversation about Atalanta is the right one to have, because, and it's kind of for the first time I'm seeing everyone talk about it. And I think it comes down to them, what they did in the Europa League, in the Europa League final, where all of a sudden I'm seeing people who never spoke about Atalanta talk about Gasperini and say, wait, why are we not looking at him? Which is kind of like a bad problem in its sense.
You guys are not looking
No.
at Gasperini.
I'm not talking
but
about
I
us.
was,
I'm talking about mainstream
got it.
people that
Saying
watch
media.
Premier League football,
Media.
Bundesliga. All of a sudden, they're like, wow, look at what they're doing there. And you think about the budget that they're working with. But can you respond to what I was saying before about the ownership?
So I'll go to with ownership. I mean, the point was, do they know about soccer? A lot of times they don't. That's the reality.
How can that be possible?
Because they seeing it more as a business investment. So you're supposed
But
to
that's a
have
bad investment.
advisors. You need
You
the
get
advisors.
people that they think they know, what it is.
You have the advisors. You have the people that come in and they're in charge of the things. When it comes to coaching decisions, it's a very hard thing to put a number on, right? So with a player, for example, you can see what the player produces. You know what he can do on the field, right? It's very easy to see. With a coach, there's a lot of intangibles that are hard to really put a number or a stat to. How do you put a stat on motivation? How do you put a stat on reading the game? It's very hard. So unless you have that intuition or that feeling, you're not going to be able to really understand or get what you want out of a coach.
For example, you could have looked at Gasperini and said he failed with Inter. He's not good enough for a top team. Meanwhile, if you read through some of the things that he did, you would understand that he wasn't given a shot. at that
Gasperini
moment.
is very particular. So this is also another thing that Criscitella brought up and things that I know. Gasperini is very difficult to deal with between the sporting director and the coach, because he'll ask for one thing and then the next day change his mind or complain, and he takes a lot of energy. So he needs to be in a place where he's going to have control. If he doesn't have control, he complains. Now, even with Atalanta, and you mentioned about the market, his comments that he made on the Mercato, no chance in hell a coach of Milan, Juve, Inter, whatever, says that, and it's not in the back of ownership's head. With Atalanta, the Percassi family, they've kind of taken Gasperini as saying, hey, he's going to say these things, but we know what we're going to get.
He's right, though,
in terms
in
of,
a sense. You don't think he's right?
it's not about being right. As
Okay,
a coach,
fair.
you are also an employee
Fair.
of the team. So
But
you
he- but he-
can't keep on coming out with digs.
But at the same time,
But
Pete, if you think about what he's achieved, he took over this team in 2016, where they were a team that was going up from Serie A to Serie B. That was Atalanta's history, and he made them dream and got them to Champions League football. That was largely him choosing the players. He also makes them a lot of money. All the transfers that they make, all these players that they buy for very little,
Quadruples the
he puts them in the
price.
best system, and they make a lot of money. So he kind of can get away with it. He does get away with
And
it.
that's
That's number
why
one.
I- that's
one
but
of
I
the
think, but I think
examples,
he's
though,
also
yeah.
right to get away with it, because if I think about this summer, we had the conversations. I think if they did a different Mercato, they would fight for the title.
And
They
they-
would fight for the Scudetto. If they didn't lose so many players,
Maybe,
and if
yeah.
they were a little bit more ambitious, I think that they would be fighting for the title.
But
They're,
you think they're not going to fight right now for the Scudetto?
Be-
I think
be-
they're the better equipped team to win.
But-
Forget about Inter or Milan or Juventus. I think Atalanta should.
But
let's
on
say this
top-
to be an even more serious candidate, because they do have to compete in Champions League and they have to compete in Serie A, which I think will be difficult.
But
for
on
them.
top of that too, he earned that right to have the better side of them. Like, he can make those mistakes because he done so well.
We're all saying the same thing. I know that you're not disagreeing with
But
this.
same thing with the Papu Gomez case. They sided with him. Remember when Papu said it's either me or him, and they ended up
And
being
most
Gasperini,
teams choose the
the
superstar
captain.
player
Exactly.
Yeah.
because it's easier to fire one coach
But it
than it
seems
is.
like they made the right decision because Atalanta
Mike,
is
let me-
still.
They absolutely have.
Mike,
Yeah.
let me add something to what you just said. Pioli was not capable to make De Catelare be part of a squad that he,
There's a lot of factors, though.
Okay. Go.
Gasperini immediately. There was not a period of him learning
There's
the
less
system.
pressure.
The pressure, yes, but the coach reading the player is very important. This guy here, De Catelare with Pioli, with the system of AC Milan, it was kind of a force. It was a little bit too rigid. Okay, this is what we want you to do. Fill up the space. Do this. Do that. Gasperini immediately understand what the player qualities
Also different
are
formation.
and when and where to plug it. This guy here immediately fitted in Atalanta. Right now, is one. I think that it's one of the 5 or 6 that they're gonna start every game, every single game. And if you wanted to see anybody that does a lot of damage on the transition with Atalanta, I was watching De Catelare coming out. Unbelievable.
But Milan, they play a 4-3-3.
Unbelievable.
CDK does
Okay,
the
but
formation.
Mike, either way, when you're spending that much
Unbelievable.
money for a player, you should make him fit into the line. Into the
Unbelievable.
lineup.
The reality is that
He's not that
CDK
kind of player. And it was Maldini's guy,
was
right?
already
right?
a top
picked him
player
out.
coming out of Club Brugge. What he did win Champions League, what he did in the Belgium League.
Right.
So there was an adjustment period. So I understand your point, but also the first year in Italy is very hard for
course.
top players.
And
It's
a
very
young
hard.
kid, and a young kid.
And then the pressure, because Milan didn't have the spending power to spend 30 million or whatever it was on a young player like that. Now you have a lot of pressure. Going to Atalanta, he did not have the same pressure. Second, Atalanta doesn't have the expectations to win the Scudetto.
Yep.
But all of this can be true. This is definitely true. But what Antonio said is straight from CDK's mouth is tactically, I was playing too far away from goal under Pioli, and Gasperini understood that I was too far away, and I just needed to be a little bit closer to the net and be given a little freedom. So I'm not saying that you're wrong. I agree with you.
But
There's a lot of
okay,
factors
but
to
that-
it.
but that
But
also-
this is
Factors.
but the
It's a lot of
tactical
factors.
side, what Antonio's saying about
Depends.
Gasperini is also very
But
true.
you need
But
also
that
time
formation
to-
fits him better also.
You need
Milan
to-
were playing with a 4-3 at that time.
Mike, forget about the formation.
But it counts too.
Forget about
It's
the formation.
part
There
of
are
it.
people we call it palleggiatori. Okay, Cassano calls them palleggiatori.
But Mike, Lookman, for example, everyone was saying he needs to fit into a 4-3-3. They found a way to make him fit. Gasperini found
But
a way to
Lukman's
make him
also
fit.
an exception. He's one of the
But it's
most
easy to
informed
say
players
now.
we're seeing in the
Zaniolo.
world.
Zaniolo, we can't find a fit.
Not yet.
Well,
But
he's
it's still
also injured.
time.
Came back from injury. It's-
you're not going to win them all.
It's another one, another pressures,
Gem.
jam into the coming off the bench.
I gotta hope.
So
I feel like he's just
Zaniolo-
not
yeah.
technical enough for
Zaniolo?
Atalanta.
No, I think
Yeah.
Zaniolo is gonna.
a lot of competition,
Gasperini is
man.
gonna make Gasperini is gonna make him. You think
Conte,
so?
Conte.
If he could do something to Zaniolo,
Yeah.
he already is a miracle maker for me. And guys,
He needs a
not
doctor, is
even
what he
us saying it.
needs.
Forget about us saying it. Samardzic said, when I got the call from Atalanta, I know there is a million examples of player who had their best careers at Atalanta, and when they left, they were not the same. He said it was an easy yes for me. That is the culture that Gasperini has set there. And while it is very good that Percassi is a very intelligent man, he played for the club, he understands Atalanta, he made a great business decision in purchasing the club and where he's brought it now. He is one of the few examples that we have on good Italian ownership and doing things the right way and putting great people in charge with the directors, right? Sartori was there, and now I believe it's D'Amico. But Gasperini, for me, is the architect, is the brains. Kind of like Sir Alex, where he was the one choosing some of the players. Gasperini's influence on this club it's not like you could take Gasperini and put him into another club and you're going to replicate it. It's all of these factors that make him so perfect for this place. And I think that he's looking at this and saying to myself, maybe in the past he thought, I got to go to Milan, I got to go to Inter, I got to go to Juventus, and he was linked to Napoli this summer.
Yeah,
that was one of the
that's
rumors.
right.
I think he's got the perfect situation with this Atalanta because give it the next 2-3 years, they're fighting for the Scudetto.
Yeah, but on top of that, like, I think Gasperini wouldn't be able to succeed in a bigger team. Just like Ancelotti wouldn't be able to succeed in like a
He needs
team
help.
like-
He needs help from
you know
the
what I'm
club,
saying?
too.
What do you mean don't? It's just what it is. Just because he's good here doesn't mean he's good
the
at somewhere
only
else.
situation where you
What
saw
am I saying
Gasperini
wrong?
for 2 weeks, it was on Inter. You
But the
haven't
stuff
seen
that he's doing at
Gasperini.
Atalanta, he can't pull off at these bigger clubs where he's talking.
Yes,
No,
he can. He can with the
They're
right
not gonna stand
management.
him.
With the right management,
it's
bet
unfair
you
to
And
say
there's
that.
nothing- but there's nothing wrong with that.
I think it's
That's
unfair
unfair,
to.
Mike.
I think it's unfair.
But it's also nothing wrong.
I feel like
with
we
that.
don't know.
But we're making it seem like there's nothing
he needs
wrong
he
with
needs
staying at a
control.
team like
I agree that
Atalanta.
he needs control and he needs to
You're
be
making
able
it seem
to
like-
choose the players. Like for example, let's just say Lazio. Maybe we're not going to use the example. Lazio, you're saying big club, right? Historically,
Yes.
Lotito says, "I'm the one who chooses the player. You don't tell me who it is. Tell me the characteristics, and I'm going to give
It
you the
wouldn't
name."
work out over there
That's
with Gasperini.
that situation. I think if you're just getting Gasperini just for a tactical aspect, no, that's not his ideal situation.
Exactly.
But if you're building a project where you're saying you're going to be involved in choosing the players, we're going to do this on the transfer market, then it's a different situation.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It happens. Some
But it-
coaches just made for those kinds of, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Mike, let me just say something to you.
Absolutely.
Before even the game started, I knew that Atalanta was going to win. I didn't expect it.
You
The
didn't say
train-
anything though. How are we supposed to know? You keep
gonna
it
show
bottled
you
up.
that
He's a big Gasperini guy. He always backs Gasperini. I'll give it to him.
okay.
What stuck
I'll
to
give
I'm
it
me?
gonna
to him.
start asking you for
What
next Atalanta's
stuck
fixtures,
to
and we'll
me-
see.
What stuck to me
Okay.
that at the end of the game, when they went greeting each other, Gasperini and Conte, I looked into Gasperini smile when he saw Conte. I said, he's probably, there was a little cloud, and then with writing, I said, "You little stupid, you little guy." I said, "You think I'm gonna be smacked around by you?" I
It
said,
was
"You
the
haven't
first
even
win
started."
in
I like how you
10
get that from a
years.
little look.
Sit back.
Gasperini's first win
Relax.
versus Conte in like 10 years.
Conte.
And Conte's
I
number
swear.
one, first place.
Conte.
But also, Conte's had way better teams than Gasperini. You look at
Okay.
the
Yeah, of
Juventuses that he
course.
had, all
could always
those
win.
wins
You could
where
win.
Ah.
What are we talking about now, though?
he's saying Conte's always dominated Gasperini, but
Oh,
now
yeah,
it's
yeah.
now it's way more level.
I guess.
It's a come on. I mean, we're talking about Juventus that dominated and won Serie A for how many years in a
Still-
row?
Over
Still
here.
on the paper.
No, I'm not agreeing with him, but I'm just
You better. Oh, you're not. Mike, please do me a favor. Get this guy here out of here.
That didn't last
But
long.
either way, I love the story. Even though obviously I've been big on the Napoli train, and I wanted Napoli to win the game. Seeing what he does just makes me. It's proud. It makes you proud. They are the definition of an underdog story, but they do it the right way.
But also the media in Italy, they're not doing any favors to Conte. He's also said like we're still in the phase of development, right? And getting his ideas across to his team. Because there was things like in fuga, right? Napoli is gone. They're gone. It was 4 points.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not talking
Yeah,
about 10
exactly. Not a
points.
landslide.
Everything
And
is
he's
so
got a lot of
exaggerated.
He's got a lot.
You gotta
Even
sell those
season,
papers.
he's
Even
got a lot of
Inter,
game stuff.
everyone was talking
Like,
about.
you guys are right on the. You jump on the bandwagon.
We gotta sell the
immediately.
papers too,
that-
We do a little bit. We do a little
Oh,
bit.
come on.
We gotta
come
pay
on.
rent. We gotta pay for rent.
How
too,
many
Aldo.
times I said, let the dust settle down. Slow down. Let the dust settle. Okay, this Conte is not what you think.
But none of
It's
us,
not like
none of
that.
us here
That's
said they're
not what
running
I'm
away with
saying.
it.
And
All
he's
we're
not gonna
saying is that they
win.
started. They're still
not
doing
gonna
way better
win.
than anyone expected, and they're still in first
Wait
place.
till the next
And
year-
next week,
Champions League
next
rush.
week is the big one.
Yeah.
They got to play Inter in the I think it's in San Siro. 1 point behind, and you know what makes it great? You know what makes it great? That Inter have to play Arsenal this week.
Oh,
And Conte is going to
And
prepare
Napoli
for this.
don't.
It makes it much more even in terms of the quality of the teams. That's going to be an epic battle. An epic
Epic
battle.
battle.
Conte returning to Inter, the Inter
loves
that he
that word.
built up.
oh yeah.
It is. It's
Epic.
exciting.
It's gonna be epic.
It's one of the most exciting I've been to watch a game.
Do you know
in a
Greek
long time.
Conte,
Greek
yeah, of
mythology,
course. The
epic
Greek
battle.
mythology,
Oh my
right?
God,
The Greek
epic.
mythology.
I was gonna say it's a
we
Greek
copy
mythology,
everything.
go crazy.
You know, the Greeks, they invented
It's an
us.
epic,
Don't
it's an
forget that,
epic.
Mike. So listen, let me just say something about your epic mythology
Mythology.
ideas.
Dimmi.
Conte, to make a statement that said that we are fighting for the campionato, is going to go back to San Siro, where he came from, not exactly where he came lately, and he's going to smack Limone Inzaghi with a 3-0.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly the same way he got smacked by Gasperini in Napoli.
I don't
that
think
is a
they're
statement.
not capable of beating Inter 3-0.
Well, but don't come over there and you get a penalty kick or an end ball.
He's gonna
or
try to not
deflection
lose.
and win. So who's going to try not to lose?
Conte is going to try to
Conte?
not lose that game. He's
Okay.
going to do. I think it's going to be similar to what the Juventus game was.
Yeah.
Juventus Napoli, where they'll try to take their opportunities. They had good opportunities,
But don't
but they're
overstretch,
not
right?
going to
overstretch,
overexpose themselves.
So
I believe.
how do you see the game? A tie?
I see it's a tie. It's
I
a tie.
think,
very minimal. I don't think it's a 3-0. But I mean, I didn't think Atalanta would be in Napoli 3-0. So I thought that was a tie as well.
He
so I
also
could be
thought
wrong.
Milan was going to be Napoli 4-0.
He also thought Milan's going to win the Scudetto, or
Oh.
still thinks Milan's going to win the Scudetto.
I do. Hello, I do.
Why don't we go back on the other topic we were talking about with Gasperini, what you brought up from Criscitello. Where
Criscitello. Who the hell is this Criscitello again?
he doesn't
Milan's
like you.
Primavera.
He doesn't like you.
Primavera?
I'm kidding.
Come on.
He's against you.
Is that Michele?
He's a journalist.
No.
It's Criscitelli.
He's a journalist.
Oh, it's a journalist. I see. I
It
don't
is
read-
Michele Criscitello.
I don't read. The
I saw that
newspaper.
guy, one time.
I don't read
in,
newspapers that much.
in Milano.
Well, you
Having
read
a
Gazzetta
drink.
every morning. You're like
Gazzetta, but I
Gaetano.
don't go to
That's
read
a newspaper,
I
no?
don't go to. I go to the big title.
He's not that
Gaetano
big.
Messina.
And I go-
Italia,
And I go for the
Sport Italia.
wags.
He's
I
not
go
that big.
wags
Yeah,
and
he's
things
big
like
in
that.
Italy.
Wait, what?
Wait,
He's
excuse
big in
me.
Italy.
Does your wife know about that?
Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
It's okay.
I'm gonna call her right now.
Oh.
No.
He's locked up. So what he said about if Gasperini was the coach of Roma and he lost to Como, Torino, and Inter, a little tongue-in-cheek, but he would be fired because De Rossi was fired after 4 games from Roma. It's funny because it's a little bit true. And when you see the situation with Roma, the fact that they lost to Hellas Verona 3-2, and people are mad about the situations with the goals, but you can't lose that game.
Yeah,
You
that
have
was-
to
that
you
was
have to
bad.
win. Not even that you can't lose. You got to win that game. And I feel for Juric. I feel like he was thrown in this position where he thought to himself, listen, things are not great, but this is the best I'm going to get.
What's
This
the
is a
decision?
once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That train passes. It may never come again from a big team. I have to take it, and he's trying to figure out, and I give him credit for that. But it is not working. They say that they're looking at possible alternatives. The rumor is De Rossi, who is under contract, they can call back, and they're still paying him the same amount of money. They don't want him back.
Why?
They're saying the Freakins want
Stupid.
a high-profile name.
God, man.
Yeah, and it's not Lampard,
That's
please.
crazy.
They're gonna have 3 people.
I like you
mad at
They're
this.
gonna have
Go,
3
go.
people under contract.
Lampard has been a
God.
disaster with Chelsea and with Everton. Disaster. Now, the only thing is, I don't know. You guys got to check if he's still under contract with Everton.
Lampard
Because if
for
that's
Roma?
the case,
Because they own the...
And
yeah,
not
'cause
as
they
a
don't-
player.
and if that's the case, that doesn't look good.
Everton's not doing well either.
Well, he's not there
No,
anymore.
I'm saying
but
Everton as a club.
they're not doing so
Another
hot.
one that's
They're
not
always
doing
fighting
great.
for relegation.
But some of the other names are Max Allegri, but Max Allegri's team.
Decent.
One of his guys,
I think he's great.
Galeone. I don't remember his name.
I think he's the best
Oh,
candidate.
Galeone. But
It's
back
like
then-
his very close friend, I think. He said the only reason why Allegri goes to Rome is to watch his horses or something, or is for horse races. So basically saying he's not going to take over that situation. Roberto Mancini is another name that's on the list. Edin Terzic, he was a coach of Borussia
What about
Dortmund and went to
Maurizio
the Champions
Sarri?
League final.
Maurizio Sarri.
He hasn't been linked with the job. Then there was Graham Potter that was on the
Oh,
list.
I forgot about him.
There's some very strange
Where was
names.
he?
Number one, Pete, I'll go to you because I like you being mad. It's fun to see
How
Pete
does
mad
that
about
mean,
something.
Pete?
He
Are
is.
you
He
mad?
came
What
in
is he
straight and said, if Roma get Lampard, I'm going to
So
riot.
you like when Peter's mad?
I do. I like him
when
with a
you're
little
happy,
edge.
Peter, just for the record.
So, number one, would you, if you were in charge, would you sack Juric, and who would you get if you did?
Sack Juric.
the thing is with Juric, you gave him no time to prepare. This is a whole new freaking team. Not that you.
He even said
you,
freaking. He's mad.
It was his choice, though.
Freaking,
No one's putting a
freaking.
number
Freaking.
to it. But you're saying it was his choice. Everyone's saying,
Go,
oh,
let him go. Let him go. Let him
It's not about
go.
his
It was
choice.
his choice.
Yeah, it was freaking.
Let him go. Let him
A
go.
coach is gonna want
Everyone
to
keeps
is gonna
saying
want to
that.
challenge
Like, it's his
himself.
fault.
It's not about picking.
It's not his fault.
But the point, what I'm trying to say is that this guy is kind of put in there without, just like kind of blindfolded.
Oh my god.
Now you go forward, right? Okay, you sack him. You can't go after a Graham Potter. You can't go after a Lampard. These are guys that don't know the league. Number one. Graham Potter, if you're saying this year is just gonna be anno zero and next year we're gonna look to build a project in a certain style of play, then that's what you can do. Allegri is gonna be able to fix you defensively and make sure that you might play boring football, but you're gonna win
Their attack.
1-0.
Attack is a big problem.
But guess what? You need
Manager.
to stabilize this team. At least you have a coach that is a great man manager, knows how to win, and will bring results. He's similar to a Mourinho that they also got rid of. So it all
Who
depends
identified
on
these
what
problems.
the club wants.
So what would you? Who's the name that gives you the
Ten
most
Hag.
security?
Pioli.
If it can't get worse for Roma fans.
Ten Hogs is going to give you 20
Pioli's
Hogs.
got a job.
Obviously, De Rossi not coming back, that means there's still an issue.
Would you bring De Rossi back?
I would.
I would bring De Rossi back.
100%.
I mean, I think
I
we'll
would-
agree here.
My
I think
first
I'd get
move
Allegri.
would be to bring De Rossi back.
Okay.
Give him the chance because also I think the locker room,
Yeah.
he never lost the locker room. He just didn't have the opportunity to win these games.
He
and
deserves to finish
he
the
lost a
job,
little
though.
bit.
He deserves to finish the job. This is his team. He did the entire mercato filled with players that fit his style, a lot better than Juric's style, which once again makes me question the football people that are involved in this project who thought that Paulo Dybala and Baldanzi and all these little players are going to do the press the way that Juric wants to do his type of football.
Yeah. And then also first off, he likes a 3-5-2, and you don't have the players for it. Second, you also get a Sule that you spend big money on when you already invested for Baldanzi and you have a Dybala. There's no point.
Maybe they thought that they were going to sell Dybala.
Maybe that could.
But that's a mistake.
But that's a mistake
yeah.
because now you have this player that you spent 30 million for Serie A. That's a lot of money.
It's a comedy of errors.
And you should have maybe reinforced somewhere else. You went after some experienced guys in defense, but they don't know the league. When you don't know the league, it's not an easy throw them in.
Or Ranieri. Ranieri's another name.
Marco, to me, the longer they wait to bring, if they really there is a chance for De Rossi to come back, the longer they wait, this is going to get to the point that De Rossi is going to say, "Yo, you're calling me too late. That the team is at the point of no
return.
return."
It might pull on
I
his
think Roma were in the same
emotions.
similar situation that Juve was after Sarri. They needed a stabilizer. I think Allegri would do that well. Get a comfortable finish, then from there look for someone that could build.
Allegri's not coming for 6 months.
I'm not saying for 6 months, but builds.
I don't think Allegri's coming at all, guys.
But
if his best friend, that guy leaks everything.
Okay,
he leaks
regardless if
everything.
It's 2 years or whatever.
Galeone.
I think he's better than De Rossi. But you still have him under contract.
Allegri's better than De Rossi.
I think so.
I don't see the freaking spending big money.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Him.
It's unrealistic to have three people under coaches under contract.
I think the most logical answer is to bring De Rossi back. Does it solve everything? Absolutely not.
I'm just saying
Roma deserve a true project, but Roma don't have a true project. There's also something to be said about the players. I mean, the mistake that Zalewski makes. And I don't want to pinpoint him, but he's done it a couple times. And he's another situation where the entire summer we thought he was going to Galatasaray, and now all of a sudden he's staying. Like, there are so many mistakes that it's almost insane to comprehend how Roma got to this point. And you brought up Mourinho. Mourinho said a lot of this stuff a long time ago, and people don't like him because he cuts through the BS and he says stuff the way that people don't like it. But Jose Mourinho was right about a lot of the problems, a lot of the mentality problems, a lot of the problems with the decisions being made, and also managing expectations. They thought this team was supposed to be a top 4 team. This Roma, we said best case scenario finishes 6th place. They are not better than Atalanta. They are not better than Juventus, Milan, Inter, Napoli. They're not. That's just the reality. That's the truth.
Who's the last one? Lazio?
No. They're not better than Lazio this season.
Yeah, not this season.
Inter, Juve, Milan, Napoli, Atalanta. They're not better than those 5 teams.
And Lazio.
So they're 6th. Okay.
6th. He said
I'm saying best case scenario 6th.
And Fiorentina. Add Fiorentina too.
And now you have all these. You have these variables.
They're fighting for relegation.
Wow.
You know, the only time they've had less points after 11 games was 16 years ago with the Luciano Spalletti. 2008, 2009 season, 11 points at that point. Right now they have 13 points. I feel for the Roma fans. I really do. Because Rome deserves a good team, but the way that things are going, I think you need a top sporting director.
They better bring Totti and Cassano back into the mix ASAP.
It's
and
tough.
what I will add even Giuseppe Rossi to show them even how to play a little bit on the top. Totti, Cassano, and De Rossi, those 3. And Giuseppe Rossi, Pepito.
And Jesus Christ while you're at it, right?
That's right.
Where do we go?
Why
from
are
here?
you on the bench? No.
What?
And you on the bench?
Me on the bench. Let me just show you what I'm capable to do on the bench.
If you didn't think it was going to be worse, Roma fans.
I will show.
Just wait.
I will show you the 3-5-2, the 3-5-2-1, or to the 4-2-3-1, and all that stuff. That's all goes straight to the garbage. I wanted to see people motivated. You walk inside of the field with the motivation.
What would be your preferred lineup?
My preferred lineup.
Formation.
He doesn't believe in formations.
No, what I like the most, it's a 4-3-3.
He reads them backwards like Mota. He reads them on the side.
4-3-3.
Where shall we go next? Should we talk about I don't really have anything else big on Serie A. I mean, Juventus, they grinded out a win against Udinese.
Grinded out.
Savona's story was nice. The fact that he's got 2 Serie A goals last year. He got 2 goals in Serie C. Cool story for a 21-year-old. Balotelli played his first match.
I like it.
Got a
I
yellow
like it.
card after 4
He
minutes.
came in played 5 minutes. It was nice to see him. It was really.
Did
nice
you
to
watch
see
it?
him. Yeah, I mean, it.
I wanted to
it
see
brought
it,
like a
Mike.
little funny feeling in
Can
my
you show
stomach
it to
when it
me?
came in. It was just like staring in awe. I was like, oh man, it's so nice. I don't know. I just felt like a kid just watching. I was like, it was so
You?
nice. Yeah, just seeing him
I
because
wanted to see it.
the last time he was in Serie A was 4 years ago,
Mhm.
and just seeing him play back, it was just I had a smile on my face. I was like, oh, I wish he really
watch it
does
too?
the best.
I did. I saw a little bit.
Damn, I
Did he
wish-
do anything?
He was
He was yelling at the ref
the
for getting a yellow
usually
card,
Balotelli.
which it was a yellow card.
He got a yellow
He swept
card.
the
Yeah.
guy's feet. Both
He was
feet.
going. You saw him, but he had a little bit of energy.
had
He
a
was
little
going
fight.
into
Yeah, he had a little
tackles. He was
fight.
That's
going.
right.
How does he
into-
look physically?
I mean, it's 5 minutes, so
Did he have a stomach?
no.
No? Is he
He's
alright?
fit. He's
His
fit.
face
fit.
looked a little chub. There's a little chub on there,
Come
bro.
on.
No, he looked fit.
He'll be all right.
Okay, hopefully.
Mike, that's muscle. It's not chub.
Maybe, yeah. But it was nice to see him.
Good.
I'm excited.
Looking
It was
forward
cool to see
to,
the-
to
yeah.
watch him
It was
play
cool to see the
for a more.
pictures.
At least, they plug him 5 minutes before the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, maybe he's gonna
Oh,
play.
Fiorentina.
half a
We
game.
should talk about Fiorentina. Fiorentina is a great start. I mean, we covered them a lot last week, actually. But 7 wins in a row. They won every game in October. They're transitioning that win to now. 20 goals scored in that period. 4 goals conceded. Palladino, another one, an example of time. I remember, not that long ago, we were talking about here saying, oh, maybe Fiorentina Palladino is not the solution. You need to give good coaches time. Anyone who questioned Palladino was ridiculous. And you're seeing the fruits of his labor. They're coming to fruition. And he's doing it with a bunch of players who were kind of outcasts at everywhere they went.
Courtesy of Keane.
Moise Keane had 0 goals last season with Juventus. He's got 8 goals in all competitions. Adli was a player that Milan gave away. They were missing him this week. They grinded out the win. It wasn't beautiful. They missed Adli. Cataldi from Lazio. Bove from Roma. Help me out. Who else? Gosens was kind of like in this no-man situation.
Well, he was out of Serie A, right? Then he came back.
There's another one that I'm not
Not
thinking about.
Calafiori, the other one, what's his name?
They got Camuzzo, a 19-year-old
Yes,
in the back.
yes,
De Gea.
yes.
De Gea was out of
De
contract.
Gea, De
They got
Gea.
De Gea looks
He looked
amazing.
incredible.
They got all these guys that didn't really fit or teams didn't want to bet on them. They put them into the right place. And what I love about him most, he came in. Colpani, but no, Monza, he did great. What I love is that he came in playing a 3-man backline. That's what he did at Monza. That was his style. He had to adapt. He went to a 4-man backline because it fit Fiorentina well. That's what a good coach does. They see the pieces, they have their idea, and then they make it work with the team that's there. So I'm so happy to see Fiorentina doing
And
this.
now from Fiorentina, who was at Fiorentina, Italiano at Bologna, that guy has a lot to juggle, and it's not looking. I mean, I think any coach that went there was pretty much suicide because they had like a 1-season hit last season with what they did. Now they're juggling Champions League and they're losing every game. Serie A, they're not doing that well. They sold their best players, and it's just like, what's going on?
They haven't
with-
scored a goal in
Yeah,
Champions
well,
League.
they actually showed, but Italiano has the same record as Thiago Motta after 10 games.
Yeah, because Thiago Motta didn't start well.
He didn't start well,
But
so
the
that's-
difference
and that's
is-
with less players and stuff. So
Well
More
said.
again,
competition.
Well said.
Italiano, you got to give him the
Yeah.
time
Yep.
as well. We know what he's capable of. This team is not what it was last year. There's have that magic, and you lost 2 of your top players. You take 2 top players away from any
3
team.
if you count Ferguson.
Ferguson also that wasn't playing. It just started to
finally
come
came
back
back.
in. So you lose those guys. Now you lost that production, that ingenuity, the ability to
And
go
your
up
coach.
against the big
But the
guys.
goals.
You lose the pack,
They got no
too.
goals.
But you lose the
Yeah,
pack.
they
The guy,
score.
the guy
They
that
don't
they
score.
signed,
They can't
Dalinga,
score.
15 million,
Yeah,
0
that's
goals,
one.
0
The
assists.
the kid Santiago's looking
Castro,
good,
yeah.
though. Santiago Castro is
Couple
looking
goals.
very good. He's got 3 goals, 1 assist already. So, it's not amazing, but also I think he's a nice, bright spot.
You followed
in this team.
Italiano's career, especially at Spezia,
Yeah.
which
I mean, Italiano before Spezia he was at Trapani, and he did amazing with Trapani. Where, if it wasn't for financial issues, I'm not saying they would have went up to Serie A, but they could have pushed for promotion to Serie A. Then with Spezia, both Italiano and Thiago Motta miraculously kept this team up, but not like till the last day. Like what 5-6 games before.
Wait, was
Uh,
Italiano asking to leave from Florence, or he wanted to leave?
Yeah.
So I
I
think
think the project,
He
I
needed
think the
to
project
change. I
seemed
think
like
he
it
needed to change. There was a lot of, then you lose 2 finals in
Difficult
a row.
situation with the fans too. They were
Fans.
always on top of him.
Yeah.
And
They're another one who I kind of feel like with Roma don't manage their expectations the right way, because right now I know that they're sitting in third place, and don't get ahead of yourself. It's kind of like last year. I remember under Vincenzo Italiano, we were sitting here, and the newspapers in Florence, they were sitting in fourth place, I think around December, January, and they're talking about getting Champions League football, where if you see the quality in the team, it was amazing that they were doing that, but you got to be realistic. You got to be realistic with where you think this team can go.
Yeah.
And then they didn't really back him with transfers.
Yeah.
That if you really want to push for Champions League, you need to do something in January.
You have to spend
I
money.
can see frustration on that. But speaking of coaches that maybe deserve more time or shouldn't deserve more time in this case, Nesta at Monza. They can't buy anything over there.
That's not his fault.
I'm not saying it's his fault, but he's not going to stay there much
but
longer.
He nearly
playing.
pulled it off
He
against.
almost beat Milan.
They're
They
playing
tied
well,
Inter.
but they're not getting any results.
They tied Roma.
And
They
compared
tied some
to-
big games,
but compared
bro.
to last
Okay.
season,
They tied some, but you can't compare last season.
Too
They lost
early, Mike.
everybody.
It's too early.
it's too early. But I'm reading
The
the
team
writing
is-
on the
Nah.
wall.
The team got
no.
dismantled.
I get it, but
But
it's
the
not
team is
looking good for
reacting.
them.
The team is reacting.
I think
I don't
he's
think
good there.
You think he's good there?
Yeah.
Guys, you know what?
To be honest,
I think he surprised me that
their-
he's done
their
better.
play's
Still
not
thinks-
bad, but they can't.
That'll come.
Everything goes
They
against
tied
them.
Inter. They
Everything
tied
go-
Roma.
I get that, but
They tied
everything,
another-
everything go. I watched them.
They tied you if the goal counted.
Everything's
Listen-
going against
Oh,
them.
here we go.
And
See?
I watch them.
See?
'cause
It's not just him.
See what happened?
It's not just him.
You know what I
Bro,
like
they
about
dominated
Fiorentina?
Milan that
You know
first
what I
half.
like
That's right.
about
But,
Fiorentina?
like it's nothing's going. They play
I'm
well.
Mike
I'm not saying
Cantaris.
that. What's
I'm
up?
Mike Cantaris. You know what I like about Fiorentina? It's got 7 or 8 Italian players starting on the field. 7 or 8 Italian.
Like
You
Inter.
see AC Milan?
Like Inter.
AC Milan, we have maybe 1 or 2.
Like Inter.
Inter, what do you
Gabbia.
have? What do
You have Gabbia.
Yeah,
Don't
but
forget
Gabbia-
Calabria.
You want to count?
Gabbia,
So else?
Gabbia,
Calabria.
Calabria.
I don't know if that's anything to brag about.
So what? How many Italian do you have besides Bastoni?
Bastoni.
Di Marco.
Acerbi,
Di Marco.
Acerbi,
Barella.
Acerbi,
Oh, he's the best
Frattesi.
defender that we have.
Frattesi. Yeah.
Frattesi.
You guys
I
like 4 or
wanted to
5.
see a lot more Italian involved into the game, so we can just.
Bring them for the Azzurri, right?
That's
What are you trying to do?
right.
But the
Yo,
only
we got
players
our
never
striker.
play for Italy,
Our
Anto.
striker is looking good. We got Moise Keane that's coming back. He's scoring goals.
Retegui.
Anto, you bring
Retegui.
Barella for that Azzurri, he forgets how to play though.
Yeah, that's right.
That's crazy.
That's right. Barella. What a
He forgets
waste.
who pays his.
What a waste. I was high on Barella,
How do
to
you
be
feel?
honest with you.
Let's do a little Champions League because I think I don't have anything else in Serie
But
A.
we didn't say anything about AC Milan. AC
Well,
Milan.
we could talk about them playing Real Madrid.
No.
How do you feel?
Playing is a strong word.
They're playing tomorrow.
AC
Playing is a
Milan.
strong
AC Milan. We are into a situation that is kind of a
Twilight Zone.
not twilight, but
Midnight.
no
Blackout.
No. Listen, please don't start me. Don't get me started because that
No,
you should have-
no.
That goal
Don't
should have-
start.
that goal should have accounted.
You should have had the goal
Oh,
against.
boy.
No way.
Nobody can
No
actually
way.
see it.
That's
If
a
they can't
handball.
touch the ball.
It's a handball.
Oh, let me see
A
the young
handball,
lady over there.
and if it's not a handball, it's a foul.
It's a
Because it's the same foul that they called on Dumfries.
What about the
First
Milan
half.
one?
No, that was
The
an
main
excellent
one,
goal.
it's a goal, and everybody said it.
That was an
Gazzetta,
excellent
goal.
Corriere,
It was
tutto
a goal.
sport.
Reinders
No,
scored.
Everybody
Monza.
said.
He's saying Monza's
Monza,
goal
what
against
goal?
Milan.
What goal? The guy leveled down at Hernandez. Come on, give me a break.
I sent you what Gazzetta wrote.
Reinders
The
been your best
Gazzetta.
player.
Hey, listen, the Gazzetta, they are against AC Milan.
Since when?
So if the Gazzetta said jump off the
Since
bridge,
when?
that's what you do. You
Since
jump
when?
off the bridge. Let's move on.
Wow.
Let's
I don't
move
know where
on.
that went.
Champions League?
Champions League. Yes.
You got to go to Bernabeu.
Good luck.
Play
Okay.
Real Madrid.
Yeah. Hey.
Buonanotte.
Missed the flight. I'll save
Buonanotte.
you some time.
So you guys saying it's not even a question. It's not that we're gonna.
Yo, I'm
not saying
It's how
anything.
many
You
goals
tell
we're gonna get, right?
Vinny's so mad about the Ballon d'Or. He's gonna
He's
take
gonna
out
put
all that
5 on-
anger
he's
on
gonna put
Milan.
5
Oh
on
yeah.
Milan.
That's what I'm scared of.
Oh, look
How
how
do you,
happy you
how do
are.
you beat? No, I wish.
You wish you were happy.
Who's gonna be
No.
Calabria versus Vinny? Oh God.
Listen.
Save some time.
Listen, AC Milan with the
Save
big
some
team. First of all, AC Milan.
You beat
is-
them in the preseason.
That's right. So AC Milan
Oh God.
is gonna play not to embarrass themselves, and we're gonna.
I know.
Yeah, and we're gonna plug
How far we fall.
Teao. We're gonna plug Teao on the left side.
Ciao.
So to find
Ciao,
out.
you mean?
No, Teo Hernandez and Leo.
Oh.
Teao.
Is that from
Did you
Gazzetta?
make that up yourself?
No, I hear this terminology for,
Oh,
for a long time.
So you use
From
that.
time to time, I
picks
use
up
it.
on
So
it.
this time here, Teao.
As long as Reinders is there, you'll be good.
Reinders is gonna
3
be
goals in his
coming.
last
Maybe
two.
if there's 11.
He's been good, huh?
grinders.
I love.
He's
it.
been great.
I love
One of the
Reinders.
bright
Reinders.
spots.
Yeah, we got it for cheap.
Of
and
a
then,
dark time.
It's already on the radar of 4 or 5 big teams in Europe.
Inter.
Atalanta,
No.
Fiorentina.
My God.
Juve.
What are the
So
teams
Milan's
above
not
them?
a big team anymore.
It is
all
a
the
big
big
team.
teams
It
are
is a
already
big
for.
Oh, they're a
It is
feeder
a
team
big
for Atalanta, maybe.
Pete.
So what do you see the result? Since you're Nostradamus, you're getting everything right. You knew Atalanta was going to win 3-0. What's the score? Real Madrid, Milan.
Oh God.
I will go for a 1-1.
Yeah. In the first half.
They're laughing. Look at that, Mike. They're
Do
laughing.
you believe this?
No, because you know it's not gonna end 1-1.
I know, right?
Anton, the first 5 minutes. 1-1 in the first 5 minutes.
I'll
Listen.
go for the
Listen,
one.
make sure
Like he's doing us a favor.
make sure that they face Milandas
Because
and
if they
loses.
score- if they
I
tie
don't get to
1-1,
see
forget
any
it.
one of you because I'm gonna
I'll
smack
buy
you
you a
around.
margarita
1-1.
tomorrow.
You buy me a margarita?
Tomorrow.
Okay,
You owe me a margarita.
Yeah, forget
Yo,
it.
we
All
bet.
three of us.
You
You
bet
owe me
Milan
between
Napoli.
the two of you, between Peter Lugers and La Margarita. I
You're
should.
bankrupt.
Oh,
You don't have to pay for dinner anymore.
yeah, that's right.
Just buy the restaurant, Anton.
So
How do you
Mike,
feel? Arsenal. Arsenal's coming off of two losses, two away losses. I think Newcastle and Bournemouth a couple weeks before that. So not in their best moment. Arsenal getting criticized. Everyone's saying that they threw away the Premier League title.
Yeah.
How do you feel going
Oh,
into
they
this
dropped down. If you see, Man City and
game? Liverpool.
Liverpool's
first.
yeah.
are on fire, and then
Chiesa
Arsenal.
doesn't play
Obviously,
still,
they
man.
look like they lost a little bit, and maybe that tension can translate also into the game this Wednesday. I feel a little bit better that it's in Milano. You know, we're gonna be playing at home,
so you're gonna
so
win.
I think it's going to be a nice night.
It's going to be a good game.
They did nothing against Atalanta when they played away.
Yeah.
If that's anything to say,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't
it's
know,
hard to...
but they looked really bad.
Who? Arsenal?
Arsenal, when they played Atalanta in Bergamo, I mean, I think he misses the penalty, one of the few bad games that he had, and then misses the rebound, which was probably worse than that. But that was a game that they had their opportunities.
Yeah.
That gives me hope for Inter.
No, there's definitely hope. I mean, Inter's one of the better teams in Europe.
I think
you
they're
know?
better than
So
Arsenal.
They're better. The only thing I'm I guess worried about is the speed. I think Arsenal has speed on the width play, and Inter the defenders are not quick-footed. So we have to be able to manage that. We did it with Man City. You know, I think we can play a good game versus Arsenal, but we have to be more clinical in front of goal. You know, we didn't
Listen,
talk
you've been
about
taking
Inter
too many
Venezia.
goals lately, so you watch
Yeah.
it. You just get your defense a little bit more tied up.
I said that's what I'm worried about. And then we have to be able to score. Versus Venezia, too many chances
Yeah, squander.
and you know
almost got punished.
no goals.
But that was one of the few games Thuram was really poor.
Yeah.
That I can remember where I said, "Oh wow,
decision
he
making was
made
poor.
bad mistakes."
Yeah.
He's a little. I mean, I know strikers are usually selfish, but there was one moment where there's a couple that I can remember over this year where I feel like he can help his teammates out a little bit more.
Listen,
Yeah,
last
he's a
year
little too selfish, right?
no, but last year
I
he,
think because he was on
he
fire.
put up.
That's
He had a
why.
lot of assists as well.
You don't feel
Listen.
like that? You don't remember a couple moments where he could have squared the ball or
Sure,
could
but
have?
everybody has those chances.
I don't know.
that
It's
could-
just something
Yeah,
that I
Listen,
saw a
when he
lot
scored
this year.
lately, the
Lautaro couldn't
ball
score,
bounced on
that's
his
why.
knees and then bang by
doesn't
mistake.
matter.
Give me a
As long as you
break.
get in it,
Yeah, if
that's
you're on
what
fire,
Ah,
you're on fire. Yeah, I don't think that's that
please,
crazy.
to
But yeah, I
me-
think the speed.
What's
though, I
your
agree
What's
with
your
you.
score prediction? Do you
2-1.
want to give
2-1
Inter?
Inter.
I like that. I think Inter's gonna win. I think Inter wins this game. Mike,
Wow, you're a good
You're,
predicting
uh,
things, you know.
you're rolling your eyes.
It's a little weird. I probably would have tipped Inter more if Arsenal weren't doing bad in the Prem. I just feel like they have to do a little bit more extra because they have a little bit of more fire. Like they have a little bit more. There's a little bit more. People are breathing down their neck a little bit more. They
Yeah,
lost
so
two
when you have
Premier
more
League.
pressure, you
so
don't
there's a little bit
perform.
more pressure.
You
so I
don't
feel like they have to
perform
do
when
more. But saying that,
In what position are they sitting, Mike?
third.
Well, that's not that bad. Arteta,
No, it's not that bad.
I think it's
But it's
7 points, 6 points.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty big gap.
But regardless, I think Inter know how to handle these European games. They're very experienced in it, and they tend to play up to their opponents. So I'm gonna give them a 1-0 win. I think they're gonna get the job
Inter's
done.
gonna win.
Yeah, they're playing at
Yeah,
home.
7
I
points
think they
away
could do
from
it.
Liverpool at the top of the table.
All right, so
It's
they're
gonna be a
not,
good
they're not
game,
doing
though.
that bad. Come on, they're not
That's
doing that
pretty
bad. They had a
bad.
couple.
I mean, I guess it's
Couple
the
missteps.
expectations.
They
The
lost to
expectations
two
for them
small
were
teams
this is
at
the
home.
year.
That's the
And
thing.
they were moving the ball a little bit slowly, defensively, you know, not great. Lille is playing Juventus too. Lille, another team that was flying very high. They're coming off of a loss this week in Liga, but a team that doesn't concede that many goals. I think it's 9 goals in 10 games, if I'm not mistaken. Juventus coming off of a terrible result against Stuttgart in the Champions League, where they were completely
was-
outplayed.
Stuttgart.
They should have lost more,
Stuttgart.
realistically.
Stuttgart only scored when they went down to 10 men.
Not Stamgard.
Stuttgart.
No.
Stuttgart.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, that's a big test for Mota too, especially because he's new to Europe. So it's gonna say a
Who's
lot.
the Italian team that I'm forgetting? Oh,
Bologna.
Bologna.
That's not even a
Atalanta's
mention.
playing
Atalanta.
Stuttgart. Sorry,
they
that's
play
what I was thinking.
Atalanta's playing
Atalanta's
Stuttgart.
playing
Oh,
Stuttgart.
Atalanta should win.
Stuttgart.
And we're out of
Sorry.
worse for.
Oh, Atalanta is gonna make a nice
Did he
stew
check
with
for-
Stuttgart.
Atalanta
Let me
lost
check
two,
for Juve.
missed two opportunities. Versus
Celtic.
Celtic, they
Yeah,
should have
they
destroyed.
should
They
have destroyed
dismantled them.
them.
They weren't able to score. And versus Arsenal, they had
Yes,
the penalty
Juve
and they
lose.
missed out. So, they
So
should
what time is the
perform
game
well.
tomorrow?
And Bologna, Monaco, right?
What time is the
Bologna,
game tomorrow,
Monaco, I
Mike?
believe.
3 p.m.?
Monaco, another team that has surprised everybody. They beat Barcelona.
Bologna, Monaco. That's another.
Sorry, I think Monaco is the one that just lost the game.
Bologna lost all
Lille.
their games, by the way.
Mike, what
No,
time
they
is the
didn't.
game? AC Milan, 3 p.m.,
They
right?
lost all their
They
games?
won. They tied. Or
They
lost
tied.
to Shakhtar.
Did
They
they?
tied Shakhtar 0-0.
Nigga.
They haven't scored a goal in Champions League.
Yeah.
Mike,
But
And then
they
they played
played versus
Liverpool.
Liverpool. I
They
feel
did.
bad.
And then they played Aston Villa. Those are tough
They
games away.
lost to Villa and they lost
Liverpool.
to
Liverpool 2-0.
Yeah, they tied. That was a
Yeah, they
boring
tied
game. I
Shakhtar.
remember that.
They should have scored. They should have won.
Saved
They
the
had a
penalty.
penalty against, but they
Yeah,
should have
yeah,
won
that's
that game.
right.
They had a
That was
million
the
chances.
Mike Cantaris,
3 o'clock,
what,
Milan.
3 o'clock? Okay,
Yeah.
because I might have to cancel my job.
Might or
Don't
will.
say it on TV.
What?
Don't say it on
Hopefully
the phone.
your
now.
customers not watching this.
Please, give me a break. AC Milan comes first.
Is that in your contracts?
Sorry, Lille tied. I was confusing them with
Okay.
Monaco.
Okay. We're going to see tomorrow
And they'll
night
have
who's gonna have a
Jonathan
great
David.
night.
Jonathan David,
Jonathan
born
David.
in Brooklyn.
Who Juventus won.
David is on the radar of AC Milan.
That's a Canadian
Monaco
fellow?
lost.
He's Canadian. He's
David
born in
is
Brooklyn.
on,
Monaco
yeah, I
lost their
know.
last two
David's
games.
on the,
You
yeah,
know he was
yeah,
born in
yeah.
Brooklyn.
Jonathan
Where?
David.
Where?
Isn't he
Haitian.
Canadian?
Canadian.
Yeah. But it's on the
All good people were born
I
in
think
Brooklyn. That's why you
AC
weren't born
Milan
here.
And the guy Fonseca was his coach.
I think Juventus
He's
won
on a
him.
free next year.
So,
I think
AC
Juve won him.
AC Milan
I
won.
think Juve won him.
Juve? Who cares
Inter
about
wants him
Juve?
too. Inter
Won
wants
who?
him too.
Yeah, Inter wants it too.
Won Jonathan David.
So you guys
No
get
one-
No, he doesn't play
everybody.
good for
You
Canada.
guys get
Juventus love
everybody
him.
with wing, 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 wing. No, occhio di lince.
Oh man,
Jesus
I even
Christ.
understood that one.
What happened?
Yeah, you gotta be
What
nice to
happened?
people.
What do you mean? You know what occhio di lince means? Somebody that has got a very acute vision.
Oh.
Oh, you see, that's the problem. You're a bootleg. You don't even understand the Italian.
No, I didn't understand that. I understood
okay.
you were talking about his eye, but we know what you're trying to say. What you're
Oh,
implying.
he didn't look He didn't look nice when the ball went in yesterday, and then all of a sudden he started to jump up and down when the referee said, "No, no, no, no."
What's he gonna do? Obviously, he's gonna celebrate.
Sit down like a good boy. Sit
You
down.
sit down.
Like you.
Yo, sit down
like
you're
a
getting
good
cut
boy.
off.
Shut
I
up.
can't- yo, this
That
guy's
was a
strong.
goal. That
This
was
guy
a
is
goal.
strong.
What he wants
Oh
to
my
be.
gosh. All right.
That was
good?
not a goal.
We got anything
Yes,
else?
He was. Yes,
Good?
He was. And
Happy?
You know it. Yes.
All right.
Let's say something. Did we say anything about Baroni and Lazio? Yes, we did, right? Yes, we did.
We've talked about them a
We're
lot.
talking about Lazio's third position.
And they're first in Europa League.
That's right.
Lazio's third.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
They won
third.
again against Cagliari.
It's going to be an interesting year. Hey, maybe it's Atalanta's year.
I believe
The
that
way
this
Inter's
would
playing,
be
the way Juventus is playing, the way Milan's playing.
anybody. I say except Inter. For me, anybody's
Next week is
welcome.
the big one. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
Okay.